Hi everybody, welcome back. Just a slight problem with the connection with my guest, Jagoda Salewska. So we've just stopped and restarted the live. Jagoda is joining me all the way from Bali in Indonesia. I had patients all morning and taken a break to do this Insta live, and then further down we'll have patients straight after. I am a full-time homeopath, for those who aren't aware. So I see patients internationally from around the world, pretty much 6-7 days a week now. It's quite busy. People need help, and you know, it's a very blessed opportunity to be able to help others. And then when I get time, I do the podcasts and I do this series, Homeopathic Voices. Hello again, Deja Vu.
Hello. I'm not sure what's going on, but the technology is winning.
I think the connection is quite poor, maybe. So, but let's give it one more go. Otherwise, we can always reschedule. It's fine, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Jagoda, although this is the second take now, but I was just saying to everybody that you had a pretty bad fall or accident on the motorbike, and that was a few weeks ago. And you shared some of the pics of how you were, and it's incredible how homeopathy has healed you, right? Amazing.
Yes.
Again, you know.
Yes, and it went very fast. You can see the progress, like from day 1 to day 7, 8. It was like every day you could see massive progress, and it takes some time often with certain things, but in the acute states you can really see how quickly you can make a difference. So really amazing help, especially, you know, with scarring. I don't have any scarring basically on my face, and I scratch quite badly on the side and around here and a few other places, but yeah, it just no scarring, no infection as well, where, you know, having such a impact on the skin, you can. And the first thing they tried to do to me when I was taken to ambulatory care is to put antibiotics on my wounds. I was like, no, please do not. I don't want any antibiotics. So yeah,
It's interesting that you know, we talk about this a lot, and we had this conversation as well when you were on the podcast about day-to-day ailments. And so something like cuts and grazes, or a fall, or a bump, or a bruise, and generally the first thing is that, you know, one thinks and panics and starts worrying, and then you make several phone calls, or you travel here, there, you know, to seek medical help. And yet here homeopathy can be so beneficial and so quick. I think the connection has frozen again, unfortunately. I'm just typing Jagoda WhatsApp just to let her know. So I hope everybody else is okay. If you have any questions while we just wait for Jagoda to connect, I think it's just sometimes the connection can go up and down. So if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them for you. Ah, are you back? Are you back? I'm not sure. It's jumping from place to place. I can't hear you.
Why is that happening again?
Okay, can you hear me?
This is so.
No, I can't hear you. I'm not sure what. Okay, can you hear me now? Oh, there you are. You're back. Okay. Okay, we'll give it one more go. Otherwise, we might have to do it at a different time of day. So maybe earlier for you and much earlier for me.
Normally perfect. hear you perfectly. In Indonesia. So I didn't think about this, but it might be that a lot of people are using internet right now here.
Oh, yes, of course, of course. Yeah,
To
yeah.
connect with the results might be coming anytime soon for them. So that might be, because otherwise my internet normally is fine.
Yeah.
No issues whatsoever.
Okay, no problem. So how have you been otherwise? Are you quite busy with clients and patients? I know you treat patients around the world, don't you? Because of Homeopathy 247 and some of the other work that you're involved with as well.
Yes, yes. I treat patients. More and more patients coming for teeth treatment, which is amazing how it's connected with everything else in our body. And when you just look at some of the ailments people are having, and you start connecting the dots, you see, okay, this tooth or that tooth is because there is something else going on in your body. And I see that more and more. And the first thing I want to know when someone comes to me is which tooth. And I immediately check the meridian chart to see where the problem might be. Because often people go to the dentist, they are told nothing wrong with the tooth itself. There might be something wrong elsewhere, and the tooth is just manifesting the actual imbalance in the organ. Patients are realizing now that everything is connected in a way, and making those connections allows you to treat everything the same time, rather than, okay, I will do this, I will do that. We're treating everything. So we're looking at the things in a relation between each other. So when I treat patients with the teeth related to the gut, or if there are issues in a particular teeth, I want to know if the organ is functioning, and supporting both ends allows you to actually get better results altogether. Because unfortunately, children are born or actually having much worse teeth than we used to have. And that became like almost pandemic in a way, that lots of kids were having so much issues with the teeth, and mothers saying, you know, it's not down to diet, it's not down to the hygiene. And then finding those causations is one of the tasks of homeopath, no? Find why things are not working as they should be working. So yeah, in case of children, we are looking at the pregnancy of the mother, and lots of medication which sometimes is used during the pregnancy, it might as well affect the teeth. So again, looking at those connections and doing certain protocols, like detox protocols, is something what needs to be done nowadays, where used to we didn't need to, because there was no almost such issues.
It's it's interesting what you say about detox, because it's so very true. I've, as you know, Ton Jensen was on the podcast recently, and Roger Savage, and we were talking about homeopathic detox therapy and, you know, the research behind it. And I've always sort of worked on an approach of ensuring that the patient has the required detox, because sometimes if the detox is not there, the remedies will work. Homeopathy works, there's no doubt about that. But the fact is, sometimes the progress can be quite slow, because the vital force may become very overburdened with everything else that's going on, and, you know, picking away at the layers. Whereas sometimes just a change in diet, a detox, and the right nutrition can make such a world of difference that the patient responds then very, very quickly to homeopathy, like instantly, you could say almost. I've had such experiences, and within a few minutes, the patient's feeling better, and you think, even I think, wow, you know. So slight tweaking here and there is so important, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, nowadays we need to have so many tools in our box because people are coming with more and more complicated problems. And sometimes when you listen the medical history of patients, you are like, where do I start even, no? But obviously, the patient is the one who tells us, this is the most important for me. And look at things that can help to speed up the healing and actually allow healing to happen, because often if you don't provide those support organs, the detox and other organ support remedies, the homeopathy might not, as you said, it might not even change anything quickly, or even it's going to take a long time to see a difference. Where if you do those remedies and support specific allopathic detox or other detox supporting liver and kidneys, you might see the effects much sooner and on a different level as well.
I was going to ask you, for the listeners listening live, of course, and those who will listen back afterwards, Jagoda Salewska has written some books, ebooks, on oral health and how homeopathy can help. And they're available online, but I'll let everybody know where they are and how they can download them. But I did want to ask you some questions about oral health, and I know you mentioned children as well. But first, do you want to let everybody know where they can obtain these books? Because they're free to download, aren't they?
Yeah, it's actually the ebook on the dental surgery I wrote is available on my website, but it will connect you with Homeopathy 247. That's where it's stored. So you can go to my website, jagodahomeopathy.com, or you can directly go to Homeopathy 247 and you will find amongst other ebooks there. And it's a great ebook when you go through extraction or any other dental work that might involve pain, bleeding. Also, homeopathic detox is mentioned in basic homeopathic detox when anesthetics are used. So yeah, great remedies which often are less known, like emerald, which can be taken before extraction and really make extraction a smooth process. Remedies also to support beforehand if you are kind of having some anxiety, because a lot of people, first and foremost, they have anxiety even to go and sit on that dentist chair. So there are remedies to support that. And in case of children, it's a very common thing that they just scared. Literally, they have it's a fear of unknown, but also fear of pain. And those remedies can really support children who need to go through some dental work. There are some cell salts also mentioned in the ebook, as well as the Hypericum calendula mouthwash, which is amazing thing for so many dental problems, including post-extraction, but also if you have, for example, some problems with your gums, you can use that diluted. So yeah, it's a useful and kind of not over, not too big ebook to read, and actually use it basically based on your symptoms, because we never know how the actual procedure is gonna go. And just having some remedies on hand can prevent you from being in pain, having that bleeding and discomfort, essentially. So, yeah.
You mentioned two remedies, hypericum and calendula. So often we refer to them as just hypercal. But that solution, you know, you're absolutely spot on. It's so powerful. I use it so many times for people who have gingivitis, who have ulcers, they have pyorrhea, just bleeding gums, inflammation generally. You know, they have some pain in the tooth, sometimes in the nerve. They've had dental work done, and there's, you know, the possibility of an infection, let's say, and so many other things. And they work so remarkably well. And I would just say to those listening, you have to try it to believe it, because sometimes you might think, oh my God, how is it possible? Trust me, it's possible. You just have to try it and you'll be shocked, because not only are the results lasting, but they're really quick in the sense of, you know, you can see after a few doses, or well, you could use it as a mouthwash in this case, but after using it 2 or 3 times, you can feel the difference, and you can feel how your gums start to heal, or any issues as far as your dental work is concerned. Amazing, isn't it? It's so good. I mean, I love it. You know, you can see how excited I get when talking about remedies.
Yeah, you are super excited about this. Awesome.
You're not fazed by that.
Yeah. Yeah, I personally really recommend that tincture, but there are others as well, like Plantago is a one as well, and that can be used in a tooth infection and states like lots of pain, lots of inflammation. So many things can be done naturally, and people don't realize that until they try, no? That is working. As you said, it's like a little miracle, no? But it takes sometimes taking your mind out of this conventional thinking that, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Recently, I had a case of a boy was going through wisdom tooth extraction, and the mother was really adamant she doesn't want him to use antibiotics, which is unfortunately a protocol which was just started a few years back, probably as a part of the extraction, wisdom tooth extraction. However, we just did homeopathics, and they use remedies, they use hypercal, and there was no need. Everything healed perfectly. They went for checkup, and I was like, "So, what did you say to the dentist when you refused the antibiotics?" And she said, "Well, I just took the prescription and never filled it, so I didn't want to stir the water." And I was like, "Okay, never mind." Hopefully, you could tell him afterwards that actually there was no antibiotics taken here, and yeah, you need to think that not every case needs to be go by protocol. Yeah, some cases might be very high risk, and those risk factors should be kind of assessed by the dentist, like we do with homeopathic remedies, very individual. But what happens when people go to the dentist? They actually just are, going through steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's no individualization there. So for that reason, no one really would ask, what's your approach, and they would just say this is the way to do it. But we have that choice. Yeah, we can make that choice, and being conscious about this, obviously the risk of the infection always is there, but if there's a clean procedure and there's no infection in the tooth, why would you think you need to prevent that infection, which hasn't yet happened, taking antibiotics? We didn't talk about it, but my first degree is pharmacy, and I was always a pharmacist who would actually fight with the doctors not to prescribe antibiotics or stop them as they should be stopped when I used to work in hospitals, and it's so essential to be aware of that antibiotics have their place, but also not necessarily they are always used as they should be, and dental procedure is one of those areas, I believe. So yeah, I would just being kind of aware of that there is you have your options. Now you have your options. There are homeopathic remedies that can support that process, and other herbal things that can also keep the mouth clean. And yeah, no need for unnecessarily, because when you use unnecessarily some medications, they can actually cause harm in a way. So
it's like that with everything, isn't it? Everything in moderation, I suppose, is a very good saying, isn't it? So always take the middle ground, you know, never go from one extreme to the other, because the body is also not used to that. Um, Especially for the majority of people, for many, I mean, I was just, as I was saying that, I was just thinking of people who do sports, but their body is trained, and you become, you know, you can become very athletic, but, and your body can adapt. Just look at gymnasts and the stretching that they do, and it's just amazing, and the long jump and the runners, but as soon as they stop for a few months, and if they don't train, the body goes back to whatever state it's supposed to be in at that moment in time. So it's quite interesting, because as you were saying, I was thinking of the vital force, and how how even that can be in a very calm place, and sometimes it can become very highly strung, and sometimes it can be unresponsive.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it works that way. And yeah, we just need to be more aware of that in a way. And basically it's also about how we support our vital force in a way, like daily. So prevention again, rather than wanting to treat the end result or some consequences of lack of the conscious thinking in a way. And lots of things to do with the teeth is to do with emotions, like anything inside of our body, and we often don't think, oh, this or that emotion can affect something. But yes, emotions are stored in our organs, and if they are stored in our organs that are related to the teeth also can be affected. And you can often see that in the patients who are, for example, very upset or very sad, and suddenly the teeth becomes prominent. The tooth suddenly starts being painful, or something starts going on, because this emotion is related to that tooth. So yeah, trying to release the emotions as they occur, and express them, and taking care of, you know, our diet, which often processed food can cause lots of issues, and dairy products. And I would have, you know, we could spend another hour here talking just about the diet, but it's not the place. But you know, simple things like that, rinsing your mouth after you eat, it's not something we do. We shouldn't be actually brushing our teeth immediately after we eat, but rinsing our mouth, yes, to remove some residue and things that can be in contact with the teeth directly. So little things like that, they can really prevent and make our body better responding to remedies way as well.
You know, you said something so important about receding gums, about dental health generally, but um, I was going to say about receding gums. I've seen so many patients who have receding gums, and they say, oh, it's because of acidity. And then when you work through the timeline, you actually realize it's to do with stress, undue or constant barrage of stress, and the body becomes very overwhelmed. And a number of patients who come with me with receding gums have gone through very similar types of stress. We obviously we don't have time to go into what type, but there's a certain type of stress or emotions that you can go through, and it does affect. It makes your gums recede because you become very hyperacidic. And why do you become hyperacidic? Well, you know, there's pathology, of course. course there is, but there's also a lot to do with the mind and the way that it thinks. And you can have a very alkaline mind, you can have a very acidic mind. Isn't it? It's amazing, isn't it? And how homeopathy, and you said something very nice actually earlier. You said, as homeopaths, we have a choice where we can actually treat certain conditions in such a way. And that's such a nice way to put it, actually. And that's where homeopathy really shines, doesn't it? Because it's not just receding gums. It's like, well, hang on, let's just work backward, isn't it? Let's see what that timeline is in your life, and let's work on it from that perspective, which is very holistic, all around, isn't it? It's almost 3-dimensional, or 4-dimensional actually. And yeah, anyway, that's
No, I like the way you explain things. It really puts things in a homeopathic and holistic perspective, no? That we need to work from so many different angles, and the dentist not long ago, they were telling us that the teeth itself is just like a stones in our mouth, and they have no connection to anything, and having that realization that we internally know that everything is connected with everything. So treating just part of it or one side of it, it just doesn't normally work, because it will just show up somewhere else. But having that rounded approach and treating on the emotional, physical, as well as the connection between, finding that connection in between is so important. So that's what we always need to realize as a homeopaths, that we were taught to approach this way the patients, to approach from the whole picture. And people often come to me and they say, oh, can I treat the teeth with you and something else with other homeopath? And I'm like, but actually I need to know everything else as well. So that's like, are you willing to have 2 homeopaths at the same time? I don't think that's a good idea, but it's something hard to explain those things, because still this kind of
always
mind.
say, I always say to the patients, I say, look, everything, we know that if you look at quantum physics and theory, everything has a frequency because it's in a constant state of vibration. And remedies have their own digital signature, which is a vibration, and the vital force can have a different frequency. It can have layers of, depending on what state it's in. And same with the organs. It's just about matching frequencies, the vibration pattern of a remedy, the vibration of a human being that you're treating, or an animal, in whatever it is, If they match, they will resonate, and if they resonate, you will respond. After a while, they may stop resonating, which means there's a new frequency and you need to work on that, or vibration, let's say, and you need to work on that vibration. And it's really that. It's so beautiful that plants, and we use the mineral animal plant kingdom, and they all have this beautiful signature, whatever plant it is, whatever animal it is, whatever mineral it is. You mentioned emerald, and first thing some people sometimes say is emerald. Oh, but that's like that's a gemstone, and how is that possibly going to help me? It has healing properties. It has adamus, which is diamond, has healing properties. We know that, right? Because it's got a vibration, a certain vibration, which correlates to pathology that a patient may present you with, right? Which includes the mental, emotional here as well. So it's not that complicated to sometimes understand, but it maybe can be challenging to explain. But if everything has a frequency or vibration pattern, then that means you're just matching it, aren't you, with the patient? And as soon as you match it, it's hey presto, or abracadabra.
Yeah. And there are some great tools you can use as well. And I often use the kinesiology as well to determine, sometimes we have complicated cases when we look, and there's so many layers to address, and where do I start first? And kinesiology can be a great help here to see what the patient's body wants, because sometimes patients, they want to work on an area where it's not necessarily where the body wants to start. It's just in their ego and the mind that this is what I want to do. But is that what the body wants? Not always. So having that tool allows me to determine, is that the place where we're going to start, or is something else we need to first address? And often it might be, uncomfortable place for patient, but at the same time, in a deep kind of treatment we do, you often need to go into uncomfortable places, not necessarily where it's just easy. And this is healing not a straight line anyway, no? Is going through cycles, and life goes on. So we cannot expect that healing will be just a beautiful journey and everything will be perfect. It doesn't work like that. So having that in mind and wanting to, change things is about a little bit about investing in your own health, to increase that vibration in a way, increase your own vibration and change and support your body to be more effectively healing by its own. So for long time on not long time, but using homeopathy most of their lives, they don't need homeopathic remedies so much, because their body knows very quickly after giving the right remedy how to act and just, it's just initiation of that healing which is happening for them.
I was going to ask you, Jagoda, that I was looking on your Instagram, and you're doing a series or a webinar, am I correct, with some other homeopaths?
I just started like a little series on oral health recently, a few weeks back, which then was a little bit interrupted by my little accident. However, I'm trying to continue with that. There might be some webinar coming soon on teeth, and we're gonna work as well in the next few weeks on actually putting some teeth course together, which is a big work to do, because it's so many things to cover. From simple things we just talk about, but root canals, cavitations, and other complicated things that, like you mentioned, your patients with receding gums, is kind of deep pathology as well. And trigeminal neuralgia is another one where lots of people are suffering from it and need some help. So lots of subjects to cover. But at the moment, what I'm doing, I'm trying just to bring to people more basic remedies, which some people yet don't know, and they can be so useful when you have a dental procedure and you go through whatever it happens there, and you can support your body with pain and bleeding and anxiety again. That's what we mentioned the first, that this anxiety anticipation can be supported beforehand. So actually, if our levels of stress are lower before we go to and sit at that chair, it already, the effect regardless is better, because our levels of stress are much lower, and our body will go through whatever is happening much easier. So
I'm just going to say that your Insta Live series on oral health is really good. So congratulations on starting it. I'm so pleased. For those that are going to be listening back to this, to the recording, which is on Instagram and YouTube, please do tune in. So just follow Jagoda, and you'll find out when they're going live. And they're really interesting, because it's enough information for you to be able to digest, I say digest, no pun intended, right? We're talking about the mouth, oral health, but hey, I've got to have some jokes. But no matter how bad they are, right? But anyway, so it's really, really interesting because you'll remember the remedies, and you know, you've got a pro expert here anyway, who very much knows what she's talking about, what the remedies are, with plenty of experience indeed. So please carry on and do hundreds of them. There's so much to talk about.
Thank you so much. You inspired me to do them again, and I need to follow your lead with so many things every day online. I feel like I'm very not so proactive as I could be, but yeah, I will try my best to keep up. But
It's nice. It's
thank you again
nice
for
to connect. It's nice to connect with people. It's just nice, isn't it? I mean, it's an opportunity to be able to help others, and I think that's really what it's about, isn't it? Just keep helping and do the best that you can for as long as you can. We've all been given an opportunity as homeopaths to serve humanity or serve within the umbrella of humanity. You know, this is one area of many. So just go all out. You know, my thinking is always do the best and the maximum that I can.
awesome. I like that thinking, and yeah, it's something so essentially just to be able to help, and even if you just help one to whoever is so important, just to keep going. Yeah, and those people can help other people, knowing what we are trying to bring, and this homeopathic knowledge is growing. Like, amazing thing which is coming soon is introducing Homeopathy movie, and you are such a great ambassador of them, and I'm also trying to help to raise the awareness, you know, with this movie coming, which I believe is going to be really legendary, and I'm so looking forward.
I've got Jagoda. I've got this 3-part Insta Live coming up with the film team. So Carol Boyce, Isabel Wells, and Kim Alia, starting this Sunday. The reels will go out. They have already gone out, but a few more. But I saw an exclusive clip. It was 4 minutes long, or just under 4 minutes, and it was a rough cut, so a rough edit, and even the music was not the final selection for the background track. But I was absolutely speechless. I mean, you know, there's not many things, even as an emotional person, there's not many things that make me very emotional, but that was 4 minutes out of however long this film is going to be. It was absolutely incredible, and we're just talking about a rough cut, a draft, not the polished version. I was shocked, and it's really going to be an eye-opener, not just to homeopathy, but to healthcare, to empowerment, to understanding who we are as human beings and what drives us and how we can fix ourselves, you know, how we can repair. It's a film for hope, it's a film for change, it's a film for empowerment, and so many other things.
Amazing. Yeah, that's as a homeopath, what we need to do is this empowering. Yeah, so with my little ebook or this series I'm doing, I'm trying to empower people to know how to use the homeopathy on your own. I mean, obviously there are things that you might need a homeopath, and you need to go and talk to one to, you know, to resolve some more deeper and complicated things. But simple things, we can really be empowered and use homeopathy on our own, and just having these guides, like you also provide with, you know, certain remedies and things, can be so changing, life changing, because yeah, we not as a homeopaths, we need to spread the awareness, no, that lots of people are scared sometimes to use homeopathy because they don't know, they don't understand, and bringing that knowledge and bringing just showing that it can be really, really easy in a way in certain circumstances. Yeah, is so important.
Wonderful. It's been such a delight to have you on, and I would say thank you for everything. I know many may not understand what I'm saying, but from the heart, thank you for everything. I'm really, really grateful to you. You've been you really helped me so much. I cannot express it into words. Really, when I needed help, you were just amazing, and I'll never forget that. Thank you.
I was really happy to help, and thank you so much for having me. And I'm always happy to be and chatting with you. And it was great privilege. And I'm really sorry for the quality of this video, because I can tell that it's not perfect at all. But
We're going to do another one. Hopefully, I know you're going to be away for a while, but maybe when you're back, or maybe just before you go, let's do another one, and we'll just change the timings and make sure there's no elections going on either.
we might be actually better off doing when I'm in Europe. Maybe it's gonna be better time also for this life to go on.
Are you traveling? Where are you traveling to in Europe? Whereabouts?
I will be in London, then I will be in Netherlands, and back home, Poland, before flying back from London again. So it's gonna be like a month.
Good.
I'm gonna be around. So
wonderful.
Yeah, and I'm really pleased for how you're growing and spreading awareness of homeopathy, because that's what we need to do. And you're doing this in really intense, and I'm always like, oh my God, Attic has so much energy for this. I'm like, I would go on holidays and you're still like going on, and it's just great.
I'll just carry on, shall I?
Yeah.
I love it. I love homeopathy, as you know, truly, deeply, madly. Jagoda, it's been an absolute honor and pleasure to have you on, and I very much look forward to doing this one in Europe, because I think it'll just be fun to see what you're up to then. And of course, we'll keep in touch. We always do. And thank you so very much.
Thank you. And I hope people learn some things. I'm open to, if someone wants to reach out and have some chat, we can. And look for those ebook and course and webinars. If they're gonna be released soon, I will be posting them on my social media. So thank you very much to all the listeners who joined us tonight.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Take care. See you soon.